Hello, hello, beautiful ladies and gentlemen. Handsome gentlemen, I should say. Welcome back to Privately Outspoken. I'm Sheryl Drinkall. My life is a podcast, and I am so excited to be recording another episode today. I'm almost beside myself with excitement because I have one of my most favorite people joining the conversation with me today. And not only that, we're on location, which is exciting. Anyways, before I introduce her, I want to tell you about my website, www.privatelyoutspoken.com. If you haven't taken a peek or you're just curious to see what I'm all about, I would love for you to check it out. Today's episode, we're going to talk about spring cleaning your life. And we're not talking about dusting off shelves or tidying up your closets. Well, we are, but just not only that. We're going to have a conversation about how to declutter your lives both physically and emotionally. We need to make room for growth and renewal. As I mentioned, I have a special guest. She's my bestie. Her name is Robyn. Oh my goodness, when we get talking, it's so exciting. But I want to tell you about her. Robyn works both outside and inside of the home. She is a wife. She's an amazing mother of 4 children. And she's literally, truly such a beautiful person. She is like a beast in life. And I am so very proud to call her my friend. Say hi, Robyn. You can say whatever you want. You can introduce yourself. No, that was a good intro.
Yeah.
Like that. This is where you're supposed to talk about how amazing I am. But okay, we'll go with that. That's fine. That's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I just want to set the stage here. We're going to talk about 3 parts of decluttering for spring. Your physical items, your spaces, your emotions, and then finally our energy. First up is going to be our material spring cleaning. That's the most obvious one, which would be we want to declutter our physical spaces, right? We want to look around our homes. We want to identify what no longer serves us. We just want to clear out the clutter. We want to organize. We want to only keep belongings that create a space that brings us like joy and peace and mental clarity if you're like me. I know Robyn is the same way. She functions a lot better when things are organized and there's just less stuff in general. Tell me like your perspective and your thoughts on that, because I know we feel a lot of the same genuine emotion when it comes to that.
So to me, if it's not useful and it doesn't serve me a purpose, it's gone.
Right,
You know?
exactly.
So
And if you haven't used it in 6 months,
yeah,
then you're not going to use it again. If you are going to use it again because you found it, you'll use it once.
yeah.
Tell us some tips. Tell us what your process is like. What does it look like for you? Because I know you're like me, you declutter all year round. It's not just like, oh, spring cleaning is here. Yes, that's wonderful if that's all you can do. But I know for a fact that you're very organized and you really like spaces that are just so. It just makes everything easier in life. That's a quality in you that just really helps your life stay organized and on target.
For going through my kids' bedrooms, the best thing is to pull everything out of the room, like everything off the shelves, everything out of like
Oh, I love that.
things, and you just take it out of the room
And then only
put in what you want. So you kind of go through it and slowly put things back, and then now this pile, you do what you need, and then everything's
kind of like a junk drawer.
Yeah.
A junk room.
The only like downfall with the kids on that or whatever is because like now their room is all nice and clean, and then they have this pile to deal with. Like there's no incentive anymore because they already see that their room is done and clean, and then it's like no, this still has to.
Yeah, you still have to figure out a place for all that. But if they don't want to do anything with it, then it just goes and gets. Exactly. You always split it so good and donate.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a good tip. I like that.
Yeah.
So for me, I have this silly rule, and although I say it's silly, it's actually pretty good. And that is 1 in, 10 out. I'm not even kidding. If someone comes to my house and they're trying to bring me and leave me something, I'm like, oh no, what are you taking? What are you taking with you? If you're bringing my kids something, then please tell me what you're taking out of this house, because I'm the one that has to manage them. So I'm the one who has to manage it emotionally, physically, energetically, and it's more for me to clean up. It's more for me to nag about, right? I'm in charge of those things. I'm the one that regulates it. So it's just really important to me. And I don't make a huge deal of it, but there's a lot of like inside jokes about it. Now people will ask me, be like, could I bring this I'm going to bring this to your house, or oh, I left this for you. And I'm like, oh, no, you didn't.
So I think what I passed on to my kids is like, I like trinkets, like in a way, things that remind you of things that you've done or where you've been or all that kind of stuff. So that's like my downfall of clutter because I like to collect the things and I do a lot of things. So then I also bring like things home for the kids and that kind of stuff. So even them displaying it in their room is too much for me. Like I don't like it.
You don't like it, even though
No.
you started.
I know.
Good
Well,
one.
but that's the thing. I know it's ridiculous. Like I would rather like them just like, put it away.
Put it in. Okay, so then maybe you got to do like a collection box or something.
Yeah,
Like
something
it's
like
time
that.
for a collection
Yeah.
trinket box.
Because when they turn 13, they get to redo their room. So they get to
Right.
repaint it. They get to, add some furniture, new bedding, or like whatever kind of stuff. So then when they do that, it gets to be less.
Right.
But then somehow,
Because it's like this little growth thing. They
Yeah.
grow up a little bit in that and then they
Yeah.
get rid of all that.
then we kind of get rid of it, all of the things. So I just try to stay out of their face. But I don't think I have any like rules of like if things come in. But usually Christmas time is when I like I take stuff out. And
Yeah,
I put
in
it away.
preparation.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm
I know I have anxiety right before, even though I love it and I'm still careful,
Mm,
I got to prepare mentally because I'll go crazy.
yeah.
One of the best things that I did was, and you know this very well, Robyn, last summer, I ordered those big giant bins that sit outside your lawn because it's very difficult. It's very difficult for me to have to go drive into the city and go to the dump like 15, 16, 17 times. Now, I did a complete purge in my house. It's not like I had a lot of junk, but I really needed to just cleanse the whole energy of my house and just get a real good fresh start. There's been some trauma and some things in my life that have happened, and I needed to get rid of that, and it was very important to me, but that really helped. And I ordered one bin to start, and I filled that bin up. We filled it to the brim within an hour. I had it for a week. I ordered it for a week, and I had to phone them and say, can you come pick it up and can I keep it longer? Like, can you come empty and bring it back? And he's like, yeah, I can bring you a new bin, but I had to wait like a few days. Anyways, within that 1 week, I had 3 full bins. These are giant bins. And I decluttered the heck out of my house, and I can't even tell you how good that felt. Just physically having something in your house, in your space, like in my yard, where I could just pick it up, make a decision, and chuck it in the bin. I didn't have to figure out a place to put it. In the meantime, I didn't have to load it into my car. I didn't nothing. It was so worth the money. Like, I'll tell you, it cost me $1,000. It cost me $1,000, but that was for 3 bins. And oh my gosh, the emotional release and relief I felt from decluttering in that manner in such a big way was huge for me. And it was just one of the best decisions I've ever made and probably one of the best money spending purchases that I've made.
But I do find that when I get stuff, like it's to replace something. So it's not like I'm adding to it. It's like I know, like I either found something or saw something that either looks better or works better than what I already have. So then it's replacing
Okay.
it. So it's like,
You're strategic.
yeah, like at this point, because I think I've just gone through my house so many times, like now that I think for the most part it's basics. Like you can always get rid of things.
You're the
But
best at going through.
it took me a really long time to let go of certain things, especially like gifts.
Yeah.
So, like, because I feel bad because that person took the time to think of me to pick something out, and and then I feel the need to keep it in a way sometimes, but not anymore.
The only thing I ever want to keep is stuff you give me. I'm not even kidding. I'm not even kidding. But when I did the bin thing this summer, I got the 3 bins and did that. I was listening in my earbuds. Like I was listening to tips on how to get it done. So it was motivating me. Yeah, don't worry about it. The gift is yours. Like you don't have to feel guilty about what you've done with it. Am I supposed to hold on to something little for that long? Like 20 years? There's so many things. So I got to get rid of it. And it's like I got unsentimental and I was just, goodbye.
You kind of have to though. Like I had a vase from this guy from work from my wedding. And like I don't even know the guy anymore. Like that was like before he did thing. Like it really so then that's kind of was the start of like me like not like I'll usually try to keep it for a period of time. opportunity.
What if you
But
don't like
then,
it? What if someone gives you something and you actually don't like it? It doesn't go in your house. You feel bad if you're going to re-gift it, but would you actually just put it somewhere or would you keep it and put it out for just kind of like remember when the babies were little and then you would get an outfit and you'd be like, okay, I have to put it on them, take a quick picture,
yeah,
and then be like,
yeah,
they
and then
will
that's
fit
it.
that in 2 days.
Yeah. I don't know, because I haven't really gotten very much, because most of the time I don't get just random gifts. It's usually people ask me what I want, and
Yeah.
then that's usually what I get. Or we just don't do gifts in my family for the most part for Christmas or anything. So, but I think I just donate.
Which is good
So,
because someone else is going to get use of it.
yeah, exactly. But my mom so she was going through her house, and she has like all this stuff of like my grandma's and just various things that she's collected over the years that for some reason she couldn't get rid of. So she made all these like bins for my kids for them to keep for whenever. And I think her intention was for us to give it to them when they like move out or
Right,
something.
yeah.
But my kids were so excited. So I was like, yeah, we can go through it, because if there's stuff that they can use now or they like now, then sure. But
Mm-hmm.
to be honest, a lot of the stuff was like old lady stuff, like
Right.
stuff that kids wouldn't use, but even if they were to move out, like it's,
And they wouldn't have that sentiment
yeah,
attachment to it because it's not even reflective of something they would use.
exactly.
Yeah.
And like my mom has that because it's her mom's or it was hers growing up or like something like that. So she's having a hard time letting it go, knowing that it serves no purpose. So then she's just trying to like either keep it in the family or whatever.
So she has to pass the guilt on then.
Kind of, but it didn't work
I
because
think your kids grow up and then you still have a whole bunch of their stuff. They have their
Mhm.
whole family in your basement, your grandma,
Oh,
and you have all their stuff. No, here you go.
yeah,
It's yours. You're taking it with you.
yeah,
That's what I said to my mom with Curtis. I was like, well, no, you actually, she's like, well, what should I do with this stuff? I'm like,
right.
you give it to him. It's his.
Yeah,
If he
exactly.
doesn't want it, right? A boy might not be as sentimental as a girl. It just depends on the person. They
Mhm.
might think it's cool. A boy might be like, oh, I just want to see it once.
Yeah,
Or,
and then be done with
but I
it.
think
So
that's
no,
why. I think that's why women keep it.
probably because I do have like boxes up in their attic, like for the kids from like stuff when they were little or
Yeah, but
whatever.
not 4 billion things.
No, no,
And the
right there.
more kids I had, the less attachment I have to keeping everything because it's too much stuff to handle. So I don't feel that guilt. I can
Mhm.
get rid of anything. I can also go through other people's things. My mom can be
Yeah,
like, "Can you come go through my stuff? How can you do that?" Because I have zero attachment.
yeah,
It's so much easier to go through
exactly.
someone else's things, right? Because then when you're going through your own stuff, oh, this is cute, and then you get
Yeah,
distracted. My
that
house,
memory comes back though because you
yeah,
see that thing and then you know where it came from, and then you know it either reminds you of that day or that person,
yeah,
and then you're like, oh, should I?
yeah, I know.
You know, like what if I could use this, or what if I'm looking for something and now I gotta pay for it again, but I already had it. So that's
I know.
probably my biggest struggle. But that usually comes with craft stuff sometimes, or I don't know, house things to fix the house things or whatever.
Yep.
Because I don't want to go spend more money when I've already spent money. So sometimes it's a little bit
You know
hard
what I
that
did?
way.
I literally checked all my bins like that. I had things and things and things. I'm not even gonna look through it.
I know
I'm
it's been
check. I
worse.
literally
Like,
opened the lid up. I chucked it in the bin, and then I shut the lid. And I have all these empty containers.
yeah,
They're literally. I never looked at anything. I mean, I know what was in them because I am organized. But I was like, no.
yeah, I'm like,
There's a few things that I'm like, but it cost $1,
yeah,
and the emotional freedom I felt was worth that couple bucks.
yeah.
The kids haven't noticed anything. I went through Juliella's room with 4 garbage bags. I'm not even kidding.
She doesn't
She
know it.
doesn't even know what I took. She said, thanks for cleaning her room. Not one thing about anything that was gone.
What's missing?
And it's not like I keep a lot of things.
Yeah,
It's
but I do feel like, if
I
to
don't
go
know if
and
we
help
gave any
somebody, I
tips.
do feel like you need to know like choice words to use to like, to make them understand. Okay, does it serve you any purpose? Is it just sitting there? When's the last time you touched it? What is your sentiment about
Yeah,
it? And is it actually,
yeah.
who's it hurting if you do get rid of that kind of thing?
And you can teach them about clothes too. So now Juliella goes through her stuff, and Alora goes through her room all the time.
Yeah,
So the girls do that
yeah,
all the time. So do the boys, actually.
really.
I think it changed them. It really changed. It changed me.
Oh,
It
when you
changed
went
them.
through your whole house?
Yep.
Yeah,
In the
that
summer,
was huge.
it was actually really cool to see them just
Go through there.
go through it, and they didn't have to ask me.
Yeah,
If you want it out of this house, go ahead. Either put it in the bin, or if it's something really good, because I did donate some things, but
yeah,
most things I didn't because I needed. That was the whole point of the bin.
you know, you're not looking to go through things. You're just getting,
Yeah.
you're looking to purge
Yeah.
things.
I mean, I donated 34 bags of clothes.
So the area that I'm worst is my clothes.
Remember, I'm talking about how good you are at purging.
I know,
I'm talking about keep everything. No, but you can work with things and it won't look different or old or like you've worn it. You have really good style.
Well, and that's the thing, because sometimes it depends what comes up, because my life is so random sometimes with the
Yeah.
things that we do. So then it sometimes requires like certain things I wouldn't normally wear on a day-to-day basis. So then my worry is if I get rid of it and then I'm like, man, that would have been so perfect. And then if I can find something, settle myself.
So you keep everything.
I do. No, it's just my clothes. Just
your clothes.
That's my only downfall is my clothes. But I have no problem like going through my kids' clothes and getting rid of their clothes and all that kind of stuff.
And they're good about that.
Yeah.
And then we go through it as parents too. We go through all the seasons and swap them out anyways. I've worn this once. Goodbye.
And then
I've only worn this one time. Goodbye. I want a new dress. What's your biggest tip? Go through it more than just seasonally. Just go through it constantly.
Yeah, like the more, you kind of just, everything. The lot easier it is because by the time you go through it, like say in the springtime or whenever like things seem too much, it's really not as bad.
Yeah, it's more of a maintenance.
Yeah.
And the less things you have, the less things you have to deal with. You don't have to maintain it. You don't have to figure out a place for it. You don't have to hide it. You don't have to clean it. You just don't have to even think about it. That's why I got rid of so much stuff. I don't have to think about it. And before, it's like, okay, everything needs to be behind a cupboard so that it's not, nothing looks messy.
Yeah.
But then sometimes things can be messy behind the cupboard. Now when you open the cupboards, you could see like a cabinet with 4 drawers. 3 of them have 0 things in it.
Yeah.
It's way better. And I just knowing that makes me feel better. We can actually reset everything whenever we want. And spring is just another one of those times where it's really, really good for us. Just as we clean our closets, it's important to declutter our minds and our hearts. This is more of the emotional spring cleaning. So you're making space for love and positivity, embracing and planning for self-care and gratitude, right? We live in Canada. Winter, we have seasonal blues. It's dark until like 10 o'clock at night, and everyone gets less sun, so we need vitamin D and all that stuff. So like spring, we can't wait for it so that we can feel that dullness go away. So emotionally, we get excited for different new start, right?
Yeah. Like we're looking for it.
When I think of emotional spring cleaning, you're really good at getting outside. You get outside, fresh air, and I know, of course, I've always heard, put your feet down on the earth. And that not just being outside, but physically having your body touch grass and touch and do those things.
When kids were little and we camped, I used to wear no shoes. I would
just for that?
Well, when we would camp, like all summer, I would like not wear shoes.
Do you ever, when you go climb mountains, take off your shoes? Or you just like being in nature? Because you love nature, you love hiking.
Yeah, no, we don't necessarily, not during the hike or anything, but then that's why I like backpacking. Like that's my fave, because then you're like doing all things, your normal day-to-day things, but in nature side.
Right.
So then when you're changing your shoes and stuff, and then you're more likely to be walking. Like I'll sit down and like say I'm leaning back and my hands touching the ground. So just wondering, like, is there any research to say like the difference between say your feet touching the ground for grounding or any part like your hand, or is there?
I think it's the feet. That's why they call it grounding. But I have not looked. We should look that up because then we can just.
Because you think like any like.
Why are those girls looking like a bunch of morons? Let's do it. Whatever. We'd be the ones to do it.
But yeah, because I wonder, like, if it's all like skin to the ground, or if there's something to be said about your feet. I feel like it is probably your feet because, like, a lot of like, there's a bunch of like wives' tales about like putting stuff on your feet, onions or various things for you.
I tried that.
It took like a
I tried that. I tried that for my kids. Whatever. I mean, it's worth a try. It's not going to hurt me any.
Yeah. Did it work at all or do anything?
In my imagination, it worked, but no, it didn't work. A waste of my onion.
Because what is it supposed to do again? Like
it goes into your pores of your feet, and then it sucks the toxins out. Okay. Maybe it works. I don't know.
Yeah, because I don't know. Like, would you feel different?
I don't see if it actually sucked out the toxins, why it wouldn't work. Because when I used the spa bag that I had bought for Maverick, that helped him because he was very sick.
Yeah.
And then he went in it, which, right,
Well,
it's
yeah.
like a spa. You're
And there's something
you're
to be
sweating
said
out
about,
the
yeah,
toxins.
sweating it, like sweating out the sickness. Definitely a thing.
Anyway, we're gonna just crab walk. There's our tip of the day. Touch the earth, crab walk, and it doesn't matter what anybody says about you. So my advice for emotional spring cleaning would be just finding an outlet. That could be, like we mentioned, going outside, getting into the fresh air. It can be journaling, talking with a friend, finding the outlet that works for you. For me, that works for me. Also, this podcast and my work, you know, any type of self care that really, really is deep within us, any type of self compassion we can give ourselves, that opens up us emotionally where we can cleanse it to invite more positivity in, right? We need that. We need the outlet, we need the release, and it needs to be practiced as many times as it takes until we form a habit. And then also just find ways for gratitude in our lives too. There's never a time where that doesn't lift us up emotionally.
I do feel like I have like a lot of emotional stuff that I gotta clean up.
You're like, yeah, that's what. See, you're good with the physical stuff right now.
Yeah.
So now
Yeah.
yours is probably emotional, and then it'll get to energetic.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking that we could talk about how energetically, yeah, it's you spring clean. You get rid of things that you don't want to feel, right? We're doing a lot of that.
Oh yeah, this last year has been
People I know.
huge for
Yeah.
for that. That's hard. This is the hardest spring cleaning I've ever had to do.
Literally. That's way more important.
Oh,
But they all connect.
But it all, oh, they do.
And we need to give ourselves some compassion because not all these different types of cleansing in our lives are easy. You know, for one person, it might be easier to do the physical cleanse of your space. And then for other people, it might be more of a challenge for the energetic or the emotional. Every single person is different, but it all needs done just to live a better, healthier life. And the more that the dots can be connected of how they all relate to each other, the more we all understand that, the more we can act on it, the more it motivates us to act on it, right? When we see things that will benefit us and will make things better for us, we're way more motivated to do those things. It's very natural. My big house purge, I would call it a family purge because not only was it physical items, but it was very much an emotional cleanse and cleaning because I was physically getting rid of some things that caused not good emotion, and I had to get rid of evidence within the household of something that wasn't healthy and something that did emotionally negatively affect my family. That connection was huge for me, my whole family. That's a perfect segue into the last area that we're going to talk about today, which is the energetic spring cleaning. My view was how energy plays a vital role in our well-being, and it's crucial to clear out any blockages and invite in fresh positive energy because when you clear out, in my brain, when I clear out my space and my emotions, then my energy changes.
Oh, yeah.
Would you say the same?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, it affects us, right? What would your advice be in any of those three or all three of those categories, which were, of course, physical space, physical items, material items, emotionally or energetically?
Don't feel bad. Like,
About
or have
getting
the
rid of
guilt.
anything.
Yeah. Like, if it doesn't serve you in any way,
Yeah.
and you're keeping it for purposes of other people or other,
Yep. Don't keep things that don't serve you. Don't
Yeah.
keep people around that don't serve you. And keep your energy for the things that do.
Yeah.
That's important. It's such a boundary.
It's huge.
I mean, speaking of boundaries, that's another way energetically to spring clean is set those boundaries. Set boundaries, protect your energy, right? You want to focus on all nurturing the relationships that make you feel good. Personally, I love clearing out energy. Sometimes I do it a little too much, but I'll save those shenanigans for another episode. As we start to wrap up this episode, I just want to encourage all the listeners to just take action. Whether you're decluttering your physical space, you're releasing your emotional baggage, or you're literally cleansing your soul and energy, please go ahead, take action, and do it. Do it for you. And I would love to hear all about it in the comments. I just want to thank Robyn so much for coming on today, chatting with me, chatting with you, and just having a conversation all together about such an important topic. I'm so grateful for her, and I cannot wait for her to be on so many more episodes with me. I love her so much. You're so great. You're so organized. You're like a rock star.
Thank you.
You're a rock star.
Say
that louder, Robyn.
I feel like we kill it just the same. So anything to say about me, let's back on you.
Aw, thank you. I feel the opposite. I think that I'm super freaking amazing, and you're just a little bit better. And I'm not afraid to say that. Honest to God, you're the only person that I would say that about. And I've said it to you a billion times because it's true. I'm like, man, you know how crazy
Maybe one
awesome
day-
I am?
maybe one
She's
day-
just a little bit better. Like,
maybe one day-
50%. Like 50%.
One day I'll believe it.
Yeah.
Maybe.
My website is www.privatelyoutspoken.com. I'll put a link in the show notes for you. Share this episode with your friends. Like, subscribe on Spotify for all the latest episodes. I'm so genuinely happy. It's been an amazing day. I'm so glad you joined us. Happy spring cleaning, everyone. I'll see you next week. You know what's going to be fun? I'm going to include, for those who stuck around till the end, just a little sneak peek behind the curtain of the recording process. So fun. Here you go. Just talk normal for a minute. I'm going to just record us for a sec. You can. It's fine. This is how we're going to be because it's going to be totally regular. Just talk normal. Tell me how much you love me.
Yeah, you do. You're beautiful today.
Okay, you talk. I'm going to talk for a second, and you talk for a second. Okay, go. Sorry for all the testing.
Well, I'm really glad that everybody in my house left.
Making a video before you came in of like on Instagram, and I was like, so hypothetically speaking, do you tell the guest what you're talking about before, or do I tell her right now because we're about to record?
I don't know. I wonder if they do or they just do it because then it's more natural on the spot.
Okay, I picked uncluttering the declutter, spring cleaning, because you're super, super good at that. And then when I was here today, I'm like, okay, you're so organized, and I love that. And we're both good at that.
Yeah.
Okay,